What is going on, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen? We had Monday Night Raw last night, and honestly, it was pretty good. It was not mediocre at all. If people tell you it's mediocre, they're just trying to be different. It was not bad. We start off with Jey Uso coming out and eating. Obviously, he's got his moment going right now. And he calls out Logan Paul, who is his backlash opponent right now. But instead, we get a different Paul. We don't get Logan Paul. We get Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman comes out there and he explains why he turned on Roman Reigns and CM Punk. CM Punk put him in a precarious situation that would cause conflict between Heyman and Reigns, his tribal chief, and Roman didn't come and save him for the Tongas and Solo. He didn't save Paul Heyman from them. He came back for his Ula Fala, which I love. I love that they actually are explaining why Heyman did what he did, unlike the Cody and Rock, well, not Cody and Rock, Cena and Rock thing. And we never really got a reason from Cena why. But that's not all that Paul Heyman had to say. He was issuing a warning / challenge to Jey Uso for Seth to get the World Heavyweight Championship off of Jey. He goes into explanation to why Jey shouldn't have it, because it has power. My bad. It has power when you're champion, and Jey can't wield that power. He doesn't have it in him to have power with the championship. So he's trying to get Jey to fold. Jey takes the bait and he says, hey, Seth can have his match tonight. I was all down with that. I was not looking to see a World Heavyweight Championship match tonight, but they hit us with something. They did. And then we had Penta versus JD McDonough. It was a decent match. It's nice to see JD McDonough back in the ring. I've always been a fan of JD McDonough. And Penta picks up the win. Now, what I didn't expect was Chad Gable coming out there and trying to get Penta to lose. But Penta comes out on top. Finn Balor and Carlito get thrown out. It was pretty funny because Finn Balor already knew he got caught. And he knew what was coming. So, Penta picks up the dub in that. And then we got something that's probably going to lead towards Austin Theory and Grayson Waller splitting. We get a promo in the back of Austin Theory talking to Adam Pearce. And he's like, hey, man, I know this guy. You know him. I know him. That's great. And then Theory walks in. And he's pretty much like, hey, man, you got a match tonight. And Theory's like, who? Who is it going to be? He's like, oh, man, it's a surprise. Because if he would have known that it was Sheamus, which in my mind, I thought it was Ilya Dragunov, I was going to spaz if it was Ilya. But instead, it's Sheamus. We all love Sheamus around here. I've loved Sheamus since back in the day. But Sheamus and Austin Theory have a nice match. Austin Theory needs to get some form of a push sometime this year or very early next year. Because Austin Theory has the movesets. He has everything that I would like to see. He could be a great heel. But to see him babyface for a second, or to see him break away from this tag team, because Grayson Waller and Austin Theory have gotten pretty stale and old since last WrestleMania when they won the SmackDown tag team titles. They got stale really quickly, and I feel like it's carried on way too long. But throwing his boy, Grayson Waller throwing Austin Theory to Sheamus was probably, they're pinning the nail in the coffin. They haven't pinned it, but they're starting to. But Sheamus beats Austin Theory. you know, could have seen that coming. Then we get a Becky Lynch promo where we're going to say he because she's the man. He ends up saying, hey, I took out the garbage. I took out Bayley. And you guys booed me. And then she's like, oh, Lyra, she's recyclable. She's not garbage, but she's recyclable. Now, in this promo, I felt like Becky Lynch was just leaning on the garbage part of her promo, which I really didn't like because she kept saying the word garbage so much throughout the promo. So it was kind of feeling stale, right? In my opinion, it was stale. But then Lyra comes out, and it's good to see Lyra cut a promo because it seems like when she's given an opportunity, she can cut a promo. She comes out there, and she's telling Becky, hey, you didn't make me. Which I 100% agree. But, I mean, Lyra did beat Becky for the NXT Championship, correct? She put you over a long time ago. Not only that, right? You teamed with her at WrestleMania, which in the books, Lyra teamed with Becky Lynch, aka one of the greatest to ever do it, which is what Sports Illustrated said, which is what Becky said. And Lyra had a great comeback to that. She had an amazing comeback for that. She said, man, you have all these accomplishments. You were the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. You were the first ever woman to main event a WrestleMania and won. And then she said, oh, you were the first Intercontinental Champion. Oh, wait, no, that was me. So not only in that statement did she say, hey, Becky, you're making history. That's great. But I'm also making history. You're not the only person here making history. So it was really, really a good promo on Lyra's part, to be honest with you. And I did not expect Lyra to cut that good of a promo, but she did well. And I want to see more of this. I want to see more of Lyra cutting gut-wrenching promos like that. Now, it wasn't like the best promo I've seen in my life, but she was pretty good. Pretty good. They get into a brawl, and then, we get to the next match. Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky. That was a decent little match. I love seeing more Roxanne Perez. It looks like we're about to have like an invasion of NXT women coming to the main roster. Or we might have Evolve coming, which they have not announced it yet, but I'm sure Evolve is coming here soon, sometime this summer. And Io Sky beats Roxanne Perez. No issues about that. I don't have an issue with Roxanne Perez losing to Io Sky because Io Sky is the champion. But Julia then attacks her. I thought it was going to be a wholesome moment between Roxanne and Io. But then I thought about it once Roxanne got out the ring, and before I even come to like the realization, Julia is attacking Io Sky, which is funny, but that's what happens. I'm not gonna get mad about it. And then this was not the best match of all time. I'm not gonna hype this match up, but this match was not bad. It was not bad. It actually had me on the edge of my seat because Otis actually looked pretty good. He wasn't just getting slaughtered by Rusev, which is what I thought was going to happen when this match was announced. I thought he was going to get slaughtered, but he didn't. He came out and they put on a pretty decent match. I think that table spot was pretty nice and it looked pretty gruesome when he threw Rusev over the table. I thought Rusev landed wrong. But it was nice. It was a nice little match. But Rusev locking in that accolade, you're not getting out of that. That is a very diabolical finisher because you can't stand up because your back is being sat on and arched. He literally has your arms trapped, so you have to try to force your arms out first before anything. And he's pulling back on your face. No, thank you. I'm glad none of my friends, cousins, siblings ever tried that move on me when I was younger, because I would probably have no more siblings or cousins. But Rusev ends up beating Otis. And then we get into the next segment. Pat McAfee versus Gunther in a promo. This was pretty tense because Pat McAfee is pretty much doing this to protect commentators, protect Michael Cole at that, because they were pretty much rooting for Jay and against Gunther. And Gunther's mad because they were being impartial. They weren't right down the middle. When indeed, they kind of were. They said, Jay, we're going for Jay, but we don't know if Jay's going to do it because we've seen what Gunther has done to Jay. We've seen what Gunther has done to Sammy. We've seen what Gunther did to Chad Gable. We've seen what Gunther is capable of. So they were calling it down the middle. But this promo was really nice. Gunther really showed off why he's, one of the top guys, and why when he signed his contract, he wanted a tour bus. He got it. And I am never disappointed with the Gunther promo. I'm never disappointed at it. And it added more fuel to the fire for their match come Backlash. Do I think Pat McAfee is going to beat him? No, because only certain people have ever pinned Gunther. Jay, Sammy, Ilya made him tap out. Jay didn't pin him, he made him submit. Sammy pinned him. Ilya made him, tap out. And then Chad Gable beat him by DQ. That is about it, I believe. I think there might be one more person I'm missing. But yeah, he ain't been pinned that many times. And I don't think they'll let Pat McAfee do it. But who knows? Triple H likes to throw curveballs. We shall see. And then the main event, Jay versus Seth for the World Heavyweight title, guys. Now this match was not bad at all. It was pretty good. And Seth shows time and time again why he's one of the greatest in-ring performers of our generation. I'm not going to say of all time, but in this generation. He made Jay look like $1 million, and I read online, hey, Jay can finally wrestle. Jay can wrestle. Guys, I think it's because of who he was in the ring with. Not saying Jay can't wrestle. I'm not one of those people that believe he can't wrestle, but when you're in the ring with like a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns or a Chad Gable, you can look like $1 million. Or like with the likes of a Cody, a Randy, someone that's not, afraid of, taking risks here and there. And their movesets kind of complement what you do, so you can look like $1 million. Rollins could have a 5-star match with almost anybody, in my opinion. But this match had a lot of shenanigans. Sammy came out to help Jay at one point, which then he gets speared into oblivion like we seen last week. Then this match ends, right? Braun Breaker spears Jay on the outside of the ring. Okay. Jay then is getting put back inside the ring, gets his head stomped in. And then CM Punk comes out, which everybody thought it was going to be the OTC. I thought it was going to be Roman and Punk. I thought Punk was going to come out and get speared, and then Roman spears Braun. And Roman and Punk are now teeing off on Seth. I thought that was going to happen, but instead it was just Punk with a chair. And I don't know if y'all noticed this, right? The bell didn't ring. They didn't ring the bell for DQ. I was confused about that, but I looked at it back and I watched another person reacting to it. The bell never rang. Punk just got in there, started beating up Rollins, hitting Braun with a chair. He hit Seth with the chair. And then that was it. That was all. But I do like this angle now because that means Seth's group they're now gunning for Jay. They're gunning for Jay, and there's no way Logan Paul wins the title because they would just beat the hell out of Logan Paul. Ain't no way Logan Paul's beating Jay. But now you have Jay, you have Sammy, you have Roman, and you have Punk now. And they're outnumbered. All signs point to Austin Theory now. Austin Theory is going to turn on Grayson Waller. They're outnumbered. Hopefully, Seth goes, there's always a plan B. And Austin Theory ends up attacking Punk or Sammy or Jay. You know, somebody that is against what they're doing right now. I hope Austin Theory is the third person because he definitely needs it. And I feel like Seth can benefit from it as well, uplifting Austin Theory and Bron Breakker's career with them both being Paul Heyman guys as well. I think that this would be a phenomenal idea, especially with how Raw ended tonight. They're outnumbered, outmatched, outgunned, and I want to know what y'all's opinion are. How did y'all like Monday Night Raw? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? I will see y'all in the next video. I am out. Stay tuned for the vlog this Friday, and I will see y'all in the next video. I'm out, y'all. Deuces.